This is Kevin Minton with Outside the Games. Welcome to our program. We appreciate you being in and tuning in. First of all, I want to say our program is brought to you by Cocoa 5. Cocoa 5 is a clean and natural way of hydration. Again, this is Cocoa 5. Appreciate them. Well, we have a special guest with us. His name is Milton Hopkins Jr., class of 2021, quarterback, and I like to say athlete, but he is a plays for O'Dea, the Fighting Irish of O'Dea in Washington State. We appreciate you being on, Milton. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, we start out with family. We like to talk to our student athletes, coaches. We like to discuss family and what family means to them and how they would define it. So, first of all, to get us started, Milton, how would you define family and what does it mean to you?
Well, family means a lot to me. Currently I stay with my brother and his fiance, and they mean a lot to me, especially my brother, because he taught me a lot of stuff growing up. Because he was like the main role model for me. So whenever I had a problem with something, I would always go to him. And then I always had close friends to me that I looked at as brothers, no matter if I'm related to them or not. So really, I'm just big on family, and really, when you're close to me, I really just look over you. Like, I'd be protective of a close one. So that just means a lot to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that definition that you gave to us because, I mean, everybody, it's interesting. Everybody has a different definition of it. I mean, you could say, oh, family, it means kind of the same thing for everyone, but it really doesn't. There's things that stand out to different student athletes and coaches. Well, your brother, talking about your brother and fiance, so they mean a lot to you. Obviously, to mention, you lost your parents; they're deceased, and what challenge has that presented to you, and you dealing with that? I mean, you were younger, but to not have your mom and dad is that kind of tough sometimes?
It's tough sometimes to me because, people will be having both parents in the household, or they'll just have one. And it's just some people, they'll be they be thinking it's bad whenever their parents will try to get on them just to stay on their stuff. But really, you just will want that because some people don't got that type of resources to have where they could just have their parents tell them what to do right or what to teach them or not. So it'd be tough because really you got to figure it out on your own mostly. But then I'm thankful that I have people like my brother or my friends that will help guide me to the right path, really. So that's what really the challenge is.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your feeling on that and your heartfelt expression on that. That's huge. Um, family like your brother's a little older,
Yeah.
but with your brother, how does he help you? How does he motivate you? Because being a little older, he's been through some things, right? And he can kind of
hmm
help you along the way. So, how does your brother have a big influence and impact in your life?
Well, he has the biggest influence because he's been through a lot, so he knows what type of situations I could be in. Because me and him are not alike, where I'm pretty good at football, while he was a hockey athlete. So it's kind of similarities there, but our paths are different. Where I didn't really grow up as with parents as much as he did. So really, with all the knowledge he's gained growing up, he just instills it to me. So really, it just helps me become a better person on and off the field.
Oh, that's huge. Oh, that's great. Well, we get into you as a student athlete. The student athlete today has got a lot on their plate, right? Um, and I think to maneuver through things as a student athlete, it's exactly what it says, student athlete. And so being a student is so important to what you do um, on and off the field, and really more so in the classroom. Tell me, you are going to O'Dea. Tell me what the challenges are, first of all, as a student athlete that you face, Milton.
Well, challenges as an athlete at O'Dea. There's really not much challenges. Really, there's a lot of supportive help with tutoring. There's a lot of students that was willing to help you because of the brotherhood. And I mean, I say the only challenge is the work, really, because there's some teachers that's tough, but then at the same time, if you study hard, then you could really just figure it out the work, and you just got the help on top of that. So it really becomes easy in the long run. So that's it.
Yeah, and I think with that is that knowing a little bit about O'Dea and how they view their student athletes, they really care for you, don't they?
Yeah, they care. They're all our coaches on the coaching staff is also teachers, so it really just makes the relationship a lot better knowing that your coach is also your teacher. So when you meet up with your coaches, they also know like what subjects to help you in and whatnot. So that's it.
Yeah, and about the there's probably one aspect of a student athlete where it gets to be a little bit difficult. You were mentioning that you get work to do,
Mhm.
but it's finding time to do the work with everything that's going and happening. Correct?
Yeah, everything because like we use right now we're doing online classes and we get a lot more work than what we did going into school. So it's kind of tough, but we do have more like time to do it. So it's not as much of a challenge as it seems, but it's just at the end of the day, it gets stressful sometimes because you gotta practice. Well, right now we don't. We just work out or not, or you just get tired of like looking at a computer screen because we're a Microsoft school. So it just gets like tiring to where you just want to procrastinate and like just take a break. But really, you can't really do that because O'Day is like pretty tough on academics. So you gotta stick to it.
Yeah, there's something that you said there. One is procrastination, and it happens to all of us, right?
Hmm.
Coaches, players, husbands, fathers, whoever. There's a time management piece there that we have to be able to figure out time management and be the best at it. But it can be difficult to handle and juggle a lot of things because you have to choose what it is that is most important to you to get done, right?
Yeah. You got to pick your classes in which you struggle in the most first, get those out the way. Then you could just do the ones you already know. And after that, you should be fine for the rest of the day and do whatever you want.
Oh, that's good. Getting into more about the classroom. Where does Milton Hopkins Jr. sit in the classroom? When you are going to a classroom, do you kind of survey the classroom? Um, there really isn't in some schools not assigned seats, so you kind of get to choose where you get to be at, right?
Yeah, well, at O'Day, we have some assigned seats, but usually I would sit like close to the teacher or sit in the front so I'm able to like take notes or listen to what the teacher says and stuff. So that's just big on me.
Yeah, and getting to about the teachers, understanding them a little bit more. First of all, let's find out what's your favorite subject in school.
I say my favorite subject. I say okay, even though this is tough, I like chemistry.
Really?
Like, yeah, I like chemistry. It's tough. I mean, I try hard to understand chemistry, but it's cool. Like with all the labs we do. Like I'm supposed to do a lab soon about making bath bombs today, actually. So it'll be pretty fun.
I love it. That's great. What is your least favorite class, though, Milton?
Least favorite class? I say I say accounting. And accounting is pretty tough, and like with all the T chart, T accounts, and all that, it's just a lot of stuff to like handle. And I find it that like I wouldn't really need it in the long run because I don't think I would like pursue like business or something. But actually, yeah, but actually I will look into that. But I'm just saying, out of the 7 classes I got, it's the least favorite.
Well, speaking in the future, we'll kind of glide by another maybe 10 years, and you never know. Milton Hopkins Jr. may hire an accountant. So, I mean, if you need to, that could happen. Um, to the teacher and student relationship, that's huge. It's just like coach and player relationship in a way because it's teaching. But let's look at the classroom and identify that a little bit more in depth. To your teachers, are there what certain kind of personality does your teacher have to have? What kind of characteristics does your teacher have to make you successful in the classroom, Milton?
Well, type of personality, I say you just gotta like. I'm a jokeful kind of guy, goofy in class, but I'm not like gonna act up or anything. So at O'Day, really, the teachers like are also like the same way. Like they're easily like sociable to the students and whatnot, and like it just makes it learning so much fun because like you could joke around and then the teacher can too, and it's just like it just don't seem uh like a stressful type of place. Like you gotta sit here and listen to one talking about notes that's probably not gonna get graded, or just a lot of work that's pretty hard that you can't understand or anything. So really, really just be like funny, outgoing type of teacher. Like it'll just make everything so much better.
Oh, that adds a special flavor to the classroom when you have a teacher that's able to be outspoken and be alive and bring energy to the classroom to teach. It does wonders for students. For you though, Milton, as far as a student athlete, what do you as a student what kind of characteristics do you have to have in order to help the teacher be successful in the classroom?
I mean, you gotta just be the great student. I mean that is you gotta be able to do your part as well, because you can't expect everything to be on a teacher when it comes to like grading your work if your work is poor. And also you just gotta give your effort into learning the curriculum that they're preaching. So whenever the teacher is trying to help you, you can't just like be like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to you because or whatnot because I'm not gonna need it because at the end of the day, any good information is good to soak in. So that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you have this storage bin, right? And you're grabbing everything you can from a teacher. What can I, what works well, what doesn't work well, how can I do better on a test, how can I do better with my homework? You're like a sponge, you're taking a lot of stuff in and trying to process it in while you're taking it all in. Looking at O'Dea, now we touched a little bit on this with O'Dea. What you've been there now, it's going to be you'll be a senior this year. You've been there going to be for all 4 years. What makes O'Dea High School a special place? Describe it to us.
Well, what makes O'Day special is people. Okay, outside looking in, people will be like, "Oh, it's all boys' school. I can't live through that because, like, with their thing with boys and stuff." But O'Day is really a good like school. Like actually, like academic wise, it's fun. The brotherhood is strong, where everyone's nice. You can easily make friends when you get there. The sports is nice. Like this is overall a good school, and people only downplay it because it's all boys, and they take it the wrong way, and that kind of annoys me sometimes because they try to disrespect O'Day, but really, I just think like if you disrespect O'Day, really, it's just because either you didn't really get in or you just I don't know. It's just childish to like just make fun of a great school just because it's all boys. Really, it just sets us up for a better future at the end. So can't complain about that.
Interesting point though. You have to get into O'Dea, so not anybody can attend O'Dea. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a private Catholic school, all boys. Yeah, you have to apply, and then you got to take like a test to admit yourself in some classes, and then you wait until like a certain day to see if you got accepted in or not.
And I imagine prayer is part of that as well.
Yeah,
Got in a little bit.
we got mass like once a month, and it's not bad, but it's like sometimes you just don't be feeling it, but you still gotta sit through and listen.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, looking at the school itself, and what was the most difficult thing that you found, when you were a freshman going to that school? What helped you with the process of learning to being a better student attending O'Dea? What were some big things that really stood out to you in your development that helped you become a better student and athlete at O'Dea?
Well, the development was that the rules in place that they had was helpful. Really, like they just make you like they just try to make you as casual as possible, not casual but like business, like how you carry yourself with it. Like we got school uniforms where we had to wear polo or khakis and tuck in the polo, and that's one, and that's the little detail that goes a long way. And then make yourself presentable. And then we have some rules where like you got to look presentable, like with your hair, or like no tattoos, no jewelry or anything. But also the teachers, and we have a school dean that carries us to a high standard because of the history of O'Dea, that it just helps us be like, because we know the right way, because it's always presented to us right in front of us with a lot of adults that tell us a lot. So that's what happened. That's what it is.
No, that's big. That's big. Gives us an idea what O'Dea is like and kind of letting the viewers know a little bit more about it. Well, getting on to, 7-on-7, you were part of Ford Sports Performance. Tracy Ford obviously runs that organization with a bunch of coaches as well with FSP, Team FSP 7-on-7. Tell me what 7-on-7 means to you, because again, there's a lot of coaches, high school coaches, that think that 7-on-7 just, they're teaching their kids something about, during their program, as far as during the season of football, they're teaching their kids a lot of different things, but some coaches feel that when their players go to 7-on-7, that they lose a lot of that things, a lot of the skills that or pointers of information that the coach has shared with them. What's your feeling about 7-on-7, and do you kind of believe that?
Well, my opinion on 7-on-7 is actually great for development, actually, because I was a high school quarterback. But then when I got into 7-on-7, I was playing Mike linebacker, Will, nickel sometimes, and that helps because I don't have experience in those positions, but it then helps me because I'm a quarterback, so it helps me like get to like practice reading the other team, and then also from an X and O standpoint, it helps you like being able to like play coverage, know assignments from at a like a slower pace kind of, and also you're playing against skilled players in space. So really, that's just also help you in your game to either like come up and like try to like stop them in space, or as a skilled player, it helps you like be more creative in the open field. So like when you actually apply it on the actual field and helmet and pads, then really it should just come easier to you. Really, that's and also 7-on-7 is not just playing 7-on-7 on the field. Also, it's training, film work, and it's just practice some certain stuff you need at the next level. So, in my
How,
opinion, it's good.
yeah. So how has that organization built you and helped you with the development part of it? We got a little bit of you playing on the defense, and so as a quarterback, you see a lot of different ways they set up and coverages and different assignments. So you get to see that, and it's kind of nice to understand it as a quarterback. But how is Ford Sports Performance and FSP really got you to develop well with your body and your mind and help you out with that?
Well, FSP is like the best training facility on the West Coast, and when I first started, they made me see the other side of it, like how to be a pro, how to like treat yourself as a pro, like how to carry yourself. And with Tracy and them, they just like great people. Like I don't know why people hate FSP just because they're being the best at what they do. Yeah, it may seem like they're trying to seem cocky or anything, but that's just the confidence of what they got in their brand. So you just can't get mad at that. And then Tracy, he backs it up. Like he may talk a lot, but then he actually has the evidence, facts, and numbers to prove it. So really, at the end, if you want to become better as a player and a person, FSP is the right place for you.
And nothing like what how fun is it though? I mean, let's get into the fun part, because there's the business side of FSP, and you got to know your assignments, and you have to be good about your body and the dedication of strength and conditioning. But how fun is it? I mean, do you have a lot of fun?
It's a lot of fun because like you get to also play with other top players in the country slash the state. So like meeting with them is just like see how you stack up with them. But also it's not about competing against each other. It's about helping each other out. Like one eat, we all eat. You know, like we all be supportive. Like if one gets offered, we all supportive on him. And really, we just it's just like a one brotherhood, also like a second family. So really, that's what FSP is, just one big family.
Oh, I appreciate that thought. That's great. Well, let's get into the season of last season. O'Day, take me through what that season was like. Now, you fell short, obviously. I mean, you made it to the title game, but lost to Eastside Catholic. But let's take a step back, and Monty Kohler. Let's first of all talk about him as head coach. What does Monty Kohler mean to you?
Man, Monty Kohler's hands down one of in my opinion, he's top two in the state as a coach. People will say like Butch. I don't know that much about him, so like I'm not gonna speak on that. But Coach Kohler, he's a great coach. Like he holds everybody to a high standard. He's old school, so it's not no favoritism or anything. You just gotta play your part in like the weight room or producing, being a leader on off the field. So really, he's like an old school type of dude. Like people try to downplay him just because of the style of play he runs. Like he runs that style of play because it works, and he plays chess, not checkers. Like he he sets people up with the offense. So later in the game, he's gonna pull out something. Because O'Day maybe run first, but there's a lot of pro concepts within the offense that people fail to realize just because it's run first.
Is his offense a dynamic offense in a sense where there's a lot of X's and O's? Is it pretty difficult to learn?
It was difficult to learn because like we have signals where I had to get the play. there's also just many different things within the offense that's like, yeah, we have our basic base run players, but then we have a big playbook, but he only uses a little because the little works, so he doesn't need to pull out the rest. And really, that's just what makes O'Day pretty good because we could do anything we really want, but we just run because that's what we're the best at, and it works. If you can't stop it, why do something else?
Why change it, right?
Yeah, why change it? Like we could really come out and just pass if we want to. Like we got the playbook for it, but we just don't have to.
And interestingly, how much does film room mean to him? Because especially when you're scouting for a team to play, what different things does he add new wrinkles to the offense? Maybe change up some things here and there based on the opponent. Take me in a little bit into the huddle, as it were.
Well, film is big. It's big. Like sometimes we be watching. He'll tell us to watch film on our own about the other team or about the offense. Then going to practice, this man, we would be doing like some offensive stuff. He adds in like three new plays. That's pretty good. And we just be surprised because of like how well like thought of it is. But like, and then once we like put it in, it's like, oh, we could actually like do this for real. But then like uh Saturdays we be having a lot of film work after the games, and then he gives us like sheets with our grades on it, with a percentage. And then we have he's like has a number because Huddle he has like a play number, and then what you did, he has all that on a sheet every time, and it's just like a test. So like you be like after the game, you be like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna get on Saturday morning. Like so, it's really be stressful sometimes, but it's fun. It's fun that way.
Oh boy, I appreciate you taking me in a little bit. I getting to understand Monty Kohler, Coach Kohler's off. What it's like, him as a coach. What about you, your position coach? Do you guys have a quarterback coach that helps you out? And what does that coach mean to you in your development on and off the field, really?
Yeah, well, at first it was we had Coach Chandler, rest in peace to him,
Mm.
and then we had Coach Baker, Nick Baker, and he recently just accepted a new job in Tri Cities, Washington. Congrats to him. But them two, they mean a lot because when I was a freshman playing on a freshman team, Coach Chandler was the one who seen me actually play, and he knew I was gonna be good. And really, when I stepped in, because Imonte Scott and Jack Anderson were seniors, and then Paulo quit because he grew too big to play football, I was the next up. And then Coach Baker, seen that, and he just took me under his wing and just helped me progress throughout the season. And it's really was a great relationship because I could come with him and just talk to him about anything because he's like that type of dude. Like he relates to some things and like he knows what to say. And then that just helped me like ease through the position of starting for O'Day. And I know the history of it. So I was thankful to actually be one of the guys that could play for O'Day.
Anytime a coach puts confidence in a young player and brings really brings them along and shows him how to be the best, what he needs to do to be the best, what he can do to be the best, and make his teammates better. Those are some good coaches and good teachers. With now with O'Day's season, what made O'Day's season special? What was special about O'Day's season throughout the whole year? You made it to the state title game against Eastside, but take me through this last year. What made it special?
Last year was actually great. Like coming in, we were unproven. Like we had a whole new line full of first year starters. I was a first year starter, and the whole defense was like changed. And we were for no matter what, like O'Day made the state championship last year, but we were kind of underrated, slept on, and coming in, people didn't know how good we were gonna be. And then with all the hype from Eastside Catholic with G Scott and them, they didn't think like we were gonna even be on this. We should be on the same field with them. So that was just a chip on all our shoulders. So we just came out, played football, and we just played with an edge. Like we like, no, you can't mess with us, really. So then when we came into Eastside Catholic, we were confident because like they had catered buses, a lot of fans. People were saying we were gonna get blown out the water, and that had us all angry. And some of the Eastside Catholic players was talking trash, but that was just competitive. It wasn't rude or anything, but it was just competitive trash talk. So really, that just made us angry. So then when we came in, we just did our business. It was a business trip. We didn't treat it as anything else. And then thankfully we came out with the victory. But at the end of the year, we just didn't pull through.
It's funny that you play a team twice.
Yeah, but I said, after the game, I went up to JT, I shook his hand, I said, good game, but I expect to see you in December. Like I told him, I said, I'll see you guys soon. That's what I told him, and I knew it, but I was like, but man, that man, he just was the MVP of the game. That's you can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, it's about a player that steps up at the right time, and they get it their way. I mean, that happens. You do all you can. I'm sure there's things that you could have looked at in the state title game. You could have done differently, maybe changed this, or just some unfortunate circumstances that happen. I call them self-inflicted wounds. Sometimes the team will do that to themselves. If it's offside penalty, false start, whatever it is. Turnovers is another one too as well. But to get that victory at Eastside Catholic, and I was there at that game. Outside the games was there at that game. We saw how businesslike you all were versus the other side. We could just feel it. It was a little different. You guys took that as a business trip, right?
Yeah, we came in as the underdogs, even though we were also undefeated. And just because we didn't have no 4 or 5 stars, that we could still play with anybody. It don't matter who we got. Like we could go in with like just straight freshmen who try to play with anybody. So it was just like at the end of the day, those 4 or 5 stars are just normal people. They just got stars to their name. So that's it. But I respect them. I respect them as players. They're great players, and I respect the football team and the coach and everything. Like they're still good people. I don't know why people downplay them. Like there's like all the stuff going on with them. That's them. I'm not gonna comment on that, but they're still good people.
Yeah. And it's funny, this history that you have with Eastside Catholic, that O'Dea has with Eastside Catholic, because let's turn the page back the year before. You guys played them as well in the state title game.
Yeah, I wasn't even on the team when they played them. Really, I was like a JV player, just watching from the stands. So like I seen that happen, and then Paulo quitting. It was like, ooh, it's like it's time to step up. Like really, I just came in because nobody knew who I was. Like people just said like I couldn't throw or anything. Like I wasn't a nobody. So it was like and the history made itself really. So that's what it happened.
And don't get it twisted. Milton Hopkins Jr. was salivating at the opportunity for the next year to be able to compete, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I only knew how big the season was gonna be was when the hype was coming on to East Side, and like I was gonna see like how far we're gonna go, cause like I wanted a state championship my first year, but how everything unfolded, us going 12-1, we already overachieved, but to us we underachieved because without a title is nothing. The season's nothing really.
Yeah, we're living in unprecedented times, right now, especially with COVID-19 and what it's really changed the behavior of people, right? And social distancing and, wearing a mask and just symptomatic individuals, people dying. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been a pandemic globally, but even in the United States, had a big effect on certain things. And I think how have you adjusted to that in itself? First of all, let's talk about that because of training and things that you're trying to do to keep in shape. What keeps you going during this time that we live in with COVID-19?
Well, what keeps me going is having the resources to actually like be able to do the stuff I need to do to maintain my shape. And I'm thankful to have Owen and his guy help me out with weightlifting, eating right, and other stuff, and people just helping me out. Really, just being able to stay in shape so like I could be ready for next season because a lot of people are watching me, so I gotta be able to like perform and show what I have.
Yeah, it's important to do that. You want to show your skills, your talent, your IQ that you have to play. That's big. That's really big. Now, you fell short this season. What? How has that motivated you to be better? And now that's if we have a season upcoming this year. We are starting to see the government. The governors are starting to. The stay-at-home orders are staying at home orders are likely going to be lifted, but it's done in phases. So as far as regards to school coming up and the season, because right now we're dealing with a situation where a lot of governors are saying you can play, but there's no crowds. Can't have the social gatherings that we once had. So we don't know what that's going to look like. But putting all that aside, being that you lose the state title game, you're 12-1, but going into next season, what's motivated you to do even better? Or, what are you looking for from you and your teammates?
I'm looking forward to the jump from first year to second year, even though it's our last. So really what motivated me is not everybody's first game under center is going to be a state championship game, especially how you lost it with the catch and everything. So really what made me motivated is because people really think I'm not good because of how I played in the state title game, but people fail to realize that we weren't even on our full potential, even though they had like an injury to them and a like ejection or whatever. They still a top tier team, but to us, we lose our starting running back, we lose our left tackle because he broke his leg, and I wasn't even at 100%. So really, we were already at a disadvantage, even though I had to play with like two taped ankles because like I couldn't tell them, I couldn't like let them know which one was the hurt one. So really, we came in, I just played, but like at the end of the day, it's like I'm 6'5", and I played the season under 200. So imagine me coming in next season 6'5" at 225. So that's gonna be big, especially in the run game. How I was effective in a run game. Then we're gonna have an experienced fullback. He's a truck. Then we're gonna have another loose running back that's nice. Then we're gonna have a more physical Owen, which is gonna be scary. And our offense is gonna be a lot more versatile because we got people coming out to play now, and our defense is gonna be a lot versatile also. So it's really, I'm looking at one of the best seasons O'Day ever had, and I'm not to be cocky or anything, but I just don't think any team could really mess with us. Like, just I'm being honest.
So I'm thinking state title or
I'm
bust. I mean,
this year.
really.
That's it. Like, it's state title or bust. Like, even if we I say even if we lose a game, is bust. Like, I don't like to lose. So like when I lost that state championship game, it just made me angry, and I made a post. I was saying next year you guys are in trouble, and I still have that promise to me.
Now, did you guys get your schedule yet? And if you're looking at your schedule, I mean, what teams are that you can see that are really good, or is it pretty much you got to be ready every night?
You gotta be. I mean, schedule like good schedule or not, you still gotta be ready every night. Like you can't just come out and just be sluggish just because you think you're super good. And we were supposed to play a Cali team, but they backed out because of COVID. And then week 2, we're supposed to have Kennedy Catholic, which we've been wanting to play them because people would think like we won't be able to like keep up with them. But Eastside had better players with similar scheme, and they were tougher to guard. So with playing them, it just makes it easier to keep up with Kennedy. Then we also play Lake Stevens. They're a pretty talented team. Last year, they were considered the best team in the state at one point. And then we just have our regular league games with Pratt Beach. We got Ballard. They came up because they did pretty good last season. And then we also got we got Eastside Catholic. Yeah, even though they still lost their talented core, they're still gonna be good. It's like O'Day from last year where we lost like 30 some seniors. Like you can't sleep on them like that either. So that's really what the season's gonna be. We gotta be ready every night.
And what would a state title mean for you and your teammates? I mean, you guys, I'm sure, talk about it. I'm sure you've shared it, especially you're going to be seniors. Some of your teammates. It's a heavy senior class, correct?
Yeah, it's a heavy senior class, but we still got good underclassmen that will step up the next year and the year after that.
So what is a state title gonna mean for all of you? I mean, just to be able to say we're state champions, what does that sound like, and what does that feel like, just to say that?
Man, it's just picture perfect icing on the cake to have your last season just to end as a champion. Like last year we fell short, and yeah, we still lost, but at the day we could keep our heads up because we're all first year starters. So when we have the experience going into the next year, we'll know how to win. We know how to like what to do to prepare ourselves to actually like show up. So then when we actually go into the state title game, we'll feel confident if we get there. So we'll just feel a lot confident than we did before.
You'll be battle tested. I think that's the big word right there, is that you've been battle tested through a lot of different things. You guys have seen a lot of different things. So just to be able to go into your senior year together, you're going to be like, you know what? We've handled this. We've gotten through some stuff. We fell short, but we know what to expect. With you all, how much does, as a quarterback, Milton, how much does the trenches mean to you? As far as just the offensive line, what do those guys mean to a quarterback like yourself?
Man, those are the like we got Mark, 6'4", 310 sophomore. Then we got Caleb Bryce. He's a first year starter. Sam Howell. It was his first year even playing center. We got Owen, 4-star, that likes the leader of the trenches. Then we got Charles Waverly, first year starter. So like those are my guys, and they grind the same way I do. I try to be close with them because those at the end of the day they protect me from getting hurt. So really, I'm just trying to like take them out to dinner and stuff, just help them because those are my those are my big guys, you know. So
You got
it's
you got to treat them well, and that's
yeah,
it.
you got to.
Tell me a little bit about your defense. Now, a lot can be said about your offense and what it the threat that it has upon other defenses in your conference. But what is it that your defense? What makes your defense special there at O'Day?
Well, our defense is special because we're very disciplined, and we're very smart. Like few teams last year, they try to like double G, but they weren't smart with it as we were, and they weren't disciplined to their assignments. And what makes us better is because we have film work, we have scout team that gives us a great look week in week out, and then we got smart players like we got Hayden McDonald, best corner in the state. I said that yesterday. We got we had Henry Mensch. He was a great free safety come down hitter. We had Cooper, who was my tight end. That was a great strong safety. We got Noah Miles. He was a great safety. David was 5'9" guarding G. Like 5'9", like 165 guarding a 6'3", 210 receiver. And then we got Jalen Dixon, who's extremely underrated. He should have got recruited a lot more than what he did before. Like he was, other than JT, he was the best D lineman in the state. Can't can't argue. Then you got Owen going both ways, playing guard and then playing D tackle. Like something you can't do really. You got Kiko. He's a humble giant. He may look like he's sweet, like he's quiet and stuff, but that man, he could bench 405. Like he's strong. Like he's throwing people out the way. Then you got other side. You got Derek. You got Quinn, and then you got like Dane. Dane is a great linebacker, and then Styles just hit anything moving. Like you usually want to stay away from him. So that's really it. Just comes down with the chemistry too. Like everybody trusted each other. But then the next year, our defense is gonna. I feel like gonna be a lot more talented than the year before.
What's one word you could describe your team as being? What's one word you could describe your team in a whole?
As a whole,
Yeah.
as family. At the end of the day, we get on each other just joking around. But at the end of the day, when we go into battles, we know that we play for the next man, and we can't like let ourselves or the team down just because of like ego. And we all understand that, so we all sacrifice each and everything we want to do in order to win. And it's the bigger picture that we all look at.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. Um, for you as a student athlete, and going forward, do you kind of with especially with Coach Kohler, what is it? Does he talk a little bit about a state championship sometimes? Does he mention that sometimes to your team a little bit, and what you need to do to get there?
Yeah, he talked. We make goals before the season. Like he talks about us winning Metro. us winning like state, us we may have a goal for everything. Like before every game, we have a goal like what yards the other team gonna get, what points they're gonna get, what what stuff for as an offense we're gonna need to win the game. So everything we have goals for everything, and that's what makes Kohler best because he's always prepared and he always knows the right things we need to win a game, no matter what. And especially with the no matter the matchup, he knows that what goals we set is realistic. Or has his input sometimes, but really he just lets the players do whatever because he understands that he trusts us.
So what did you think about, WIAA? They're an organization, again, they've been around for a long time. What was it like this year? Because usually the state championship game was in the Tacoma Dome, and obviously that changed. That landscape had changed. What is your feeling about playing at different type of sites? What'd your team and you guys feel about that?
Well, I promise you, if the game was inside, we would have won, but that's not an excuse. But yeah, there's a lot of few plays that really like changed the game just because it was wet. Like I, for one, there was a play in the game where I was dropping back and I instantly slipped and fell forward and we lost it down. Or like there's like a play from another team where they just dropped a easily ball that they would have caught if it was dry. So really, I don't know how I feel like just having a state title game outside, especially with Seattle or Washington overall, because all we do is get rain. So it's really not fair for either team to go through that. So you could just have a covered site or indoor. I don't care, but outdoor, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, this year is going to be a special year. I think that with what you guys have coming back at O'Dea, and let's be clear, as a student athlete, as a student in the classroom, I think you're really wanting to make a difference in that. What's your GPA right now?
GPA is a 3.2 right now.
So we have here, if you're just joining us, class of 2021, Milton Hopkins Jr., quarterback and slash athlete with a 3.2 GPA, and he's working on that, right? That's something. What are some things that you were doing as a student to try to increase that GPA?
Well, I just be on it on my computer all day. I don't be on no Xbox or nothing. I really just be working on late assignments I don't have great scores in. I try to do extra credit. I'll be emailing my teachers constantly, and then I just stay on top of the present work I got. So I just try to maintain it and keep raising my grade as much as I can before the year's over.
Well, I'll tell you, if you haven't fallen in love with Milton Hopkins Jr., I don't know what's wrong with you, because this has been a special player, student athlete. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you. It's good to have me.
Hey, I tell you, Outside the Games is an organization that does believe in the student athlete on and off the field. Really quickly, Milton, what has been something that regards to community? How important is that O'Dea community of boosters, alumni, parents? What do those people mean to you when you go out and play, or just being a part of O'Dea's, lineage, being a part of that, and being at a school like O'Dea?
Well, it's very prestigious, and like they have a big history of like famous alumni going through there. They have a lot of great people that did great things afterwards, and it's big because when they come back and preach, like give us advice, we could actually like relate to them, because at the end we were all the same person at one time. We're going through O'Dea, doing the same sports, but then we just gonna have different paths in the future. So really, they're just like the embodiment of what we want to become, or what we want to like be like similar to. So really, it just helps alumni coming back and then give us advice of what they did right, what they did wrong, so we could just kind of like take their blueprint and instill it to ours, but with a little pieces, and we just put the puzzle back together.
Well, hey, I tell you, we appreciate you very much, Milton Hopkins Jr. Thank you for being on our show. It's been a pleasure to get to know you as a player and a person. We believe in that strongly. Boy, I tell you, we want to this upcoming year with O'Dea and what you guys have as far as the determination and wanting to do something special this year. Boy, we can't wait to watch.
Man, I can't wait to play. Like, I'm trying to get the helmet already and suit up. Like, this is really just bugs me. But now I just gotta wait, be patient, just keep working on school and working out on my frame and stuff. So I just gotta stay ready.
Well, hey, great. I tell you, well, we'll be watching out for you. Definitely, we'll be watching, the coaching staff and the team, keeping an eye on you guys, and definitely we'll hope to see you in the state title game and even and look to finish it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. We gotta finish. We gotta bring it home to First Hill.
That's right. That's right. Well, this has been Kevin Ben with Outside the Games. This has been class of 2021, Milton Hopkins Jr., quarterback, student athlete that continues to grind in the classroom. Boy, special person. And we thank you so much for watching our show and our program. Thank you so much.